some level, Marx did underestimate the spiritual aspect of human beings, right? And so what that woman was saying wasn't motivated by her direct economic interest, right? She wasn't saying, I'm going to die for Chavez because that'll get me 2 more cents an hour and I'll, be less exploited by my boss. She was saying it because she felt a spiritual connection with the revolution and what's going on there. And within human beings, I would say there is a deep desire to become heroic, right? And I think that, here in the United States, we face a problem of over-socialization, right? Now, if you listen to Fox News and conservatives, they have this rant they love to do. It's very cliche. And they rant about kids these days. Like, oh, these kids these days, they're so weak. They're pathetic little snowflakes. Every kid gets a trophy now. When I was growing up, my parents beat the shit out of me. It's this rant. But they're kind of missing something in their tirade against young people. What they're missing is that B.F. Skinner, who is the behaviorist, right? He's the one who studied human behavior. He documented that it's much more effective to control people with reward than it is with punishment. If you punish somebody, they tend to resent it. They'll be like, oh, you're treating me badly. And even if the person is completely guilty of it, they'll do huge leaps in their mind to convince themselves they're just being unfairly victimized. But if you reward somebody, very few people are going to be like, I don't deserve this reward. You're trying to manipulate me. You're trying to control my behavior. No, people will be like, I just got a reward. You're exactly right. What you're saying about me is correct. Then rewarding people is much more effective in manipulating people. And social media has done a number on the brains of Americans. Because nowadays, we are all checking to see if we get that social reward every 2 seconds, right? We're looking at our phones. We post, I just went to the store. It's like, how many people pushed like? How many people pushed like? Oh, only 2 people liked it. I've got 500 friends. What's going on? Only 2 people liked that I went to the store. And we're constantly trying to get that validation, that reward from other people. And it's made us weaker than we've ever been. And if you look at the great heroes throughout history, they tend to be nonconformists. Think about Joan of Arc, right? Joan of Arc was a woman who put on men's clothes, organized her French people to fight against the British, and was burned at the stake for doing it. And she's a saint, and she's honored. Why? Because she was nonconforming. She wasn't afraid of what other people thought. If you want to talk about heroism, this picture is something I often think about. Now, are people familiar with this picture?
Yes.
Now, this woman's not trying to be popular in doing what she's doing. This ability to say, look, I have the right to go to a school, whether I'm white or black, and facing just a mob of people screaming at her. According to what was written at the time, apparently this woman here who's screaming at her is screaming the phrase, lynch her, right? But she has the ability to be surrounded by all these people that are hating her, not approving of her behavior, telling her she's absolutely wrong, that she deserves to be killed. She keeps her head down and she just walks into the school, right? That's being heroic, right? That's part of what I think many people wish they had, that ability to go against the grain, to be heroic, to do things that are not going to get them rewarded and praised. The fact that so many young people, they pour into these superhero movies nowadays, right? Every week they seem to come out with another one. Batman, Superman, and there's a million Spider-Mans. Why do people pour into these movies? It's about somebody being heroic, right? Somebody who doesn't go along with what society wants, someone who's so non-conforming, they go out of their way to do something brave and bold, right? To take great risks, to help those in need for a greater cause. This is something all of us long to be. We all long to be heroic. And I think especially those of us who become socialists in this time, a lot of us really, really long to be heroic. And what breaks my heart is that a lot of socialist groups, unfortunately, don't allow the younger people who join to become heroic.